Marilyn Manson has been in the news lately. A lot. For quite a long time. Probably about 2 years by now. Actually, really only 1 year now that I think about it, because his last album came out a year ago, and the controversy pretty much started a year ago, even though Evan Rachel Wood talked about him back in 2018, but no one seemed to really care back then for some reason. But he's been in the news again lately because he's been attending Christian Sunday service. See, Kanye West is a bipolar religious maniac who's obsessed with himself and Christianity. He probably views him and Jesus on equal terms. But anyway, Kanye has this Sunday service thing that he does where everyone dresses in sackcloth or white robes or something and prays. So Manson was on Kanye's most recent album, and then he comes and shows up at this Sunday service wearing white, looking like something out of Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
The heavens declare the glory of the bomb, and the firmament showeth his handiwork.
I reveal my inmost self unto my God.
And I've seen a lot of Manson fans be like, what's going on? Is he losing his marbles? Marilyn Manson is a Christian now? There is something just perfectly amusing about looking at Marilyn Manson dressed like a mutant from Beneath the Planet of the Apes, praying in a circle with Justin Bieber and Kanye West. I couldn't come up with a more perfect image. But why is he doing it? Why is the Antichrist superstar Marilyn Manson supporting Christianity now? Why is the guy who's been critical of Christianity for 25 years in his music suddenly now coming out for Jesus? I'll tell you what, I wasn't the least bit surprised seeing this. In fact, this is exactly the sort of eccentric thing that I would expect Marilyn Manson to do. Marilyn Manson is, above all, and you have to understand this, he is an artist, and I see him almost like a sort of modern day Salvador Dali. He likes pushing the boundaries of aesthetics and morals, and he likes doing the unexpected, and he likes dressing up in costumes, so that's probably another good motivation there. But truth be told, Marilyn Manson has never been fully against Christianity. I think this is a big misconception even among Marilyn Manson fans. Marilyn Manson has said repeatedly that he's drawn a lot of inspiration from the Bible and Christianity. And of course, he was a Christian, a pretty devout Christian when he was a kid, because he was raised in that. He went to Christian school where they hammered it home for him every day. And he said in interviews that while he doesn't really agree with the interpretation of the Bible that he was given in Christian school anymore, he still interprets the Bible in his own way, in a way that has personal meaning for him. And we see on Mechanical Animals, he identifies himself with Jesus Christ. He also does so on Hollywood. I mean, during the Mechanical Animals era, all of his concerts would start out with this thing called the Inauguration of the Mechanical Christ, where Manson would come out crucified to a big cross made out of televisions, and then come out and sing The Reflecting God. So the idea of Marilyn Manson going to church, especially a church as eccentric and ridiculous as one run by Kanye West, I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. Also, I think it could be a source of wry amusement on his part. Maybe the fact that the Antichrist is going to church is a kind of implicit mockery of church itself, like almost like the devil going to church, you know. It's a lighthearted sort of mockery, not really meant to be mean-spirited, I don't think. And also, he's just showing up for his friend Kanye, you know, like he's friends with Kanye West. Kanye's been supporting him, even though he's apparently a rapist or whatever. Certainly not everyone is going to be supporting Manson during this time, so the fact that Kanye is probably means a lot to Manson, and he probably wants to, you know, show up for him and show that he's a friend. I see this gesture more out of respect for Kanye than out of respect for Christianity. But yeah, it amuses me that a bunch of Manson fans are actually getting upset about this. Like, that is what is most amusing about this for me, because if you know enough about Manson, you'll realize that this is actually not really out of the ordinary for him. This Reddit poster says, I'll admit this fake Christianity bullshit is souring me on Manson. I don't think he's a rapist or that he assaulted anyone, but this shit makes me far less of a fan than anything he could do. Like most Manson fans, I grew up with very abusive fundamentalist parents, and the fact that Manson opposed Christianity so fervently made me love him. If he was still the same Manson as always, I'd have to render an innocent verdict no matter what. Integrity counts a lot for me. If he's going to be a spineless worm rather than a roaring tiger like he once was, I don't respect him. If evidence was stacked against him, I'd have no problem voting guilty these days. Moral of the story, he's far better off appealing to his fans than trying to get normies to like him through Christian publicity stunts. The outcome of legal proceedings would potentially be more favorable. Not to mention, nothing makes a man look more guilty of a crime than an instant conversion to Christianity as soon as he's in hot water. I've always thought of Manson as hyper-intelligent, and strategically, this is a bad play. So this guy seems to think that Manson is converting to Christianity, which I don't think he is, but he seems to think he's converting to Christianity as some sort of a publicity stunt, as some sort of a way to get people to like him now that he's an accused rapist. And yeah, that would strategically be a bad move if that's what he were doing, but I think it's ridiculous to think that Manson would do that. I think a lot of Christians believe he's doing that too. Some Christians actually think that he's genuinely converting to Christianity. But the truth is, he's never ever commented on this himself, which I think is a brilliant part of this artistic exhibition. The fact that he just shows up to this cult wearing white robes and doesn't say anything for the whole service, and then doesn't mention anything about it afterwards, I think that's hilarious. Because he's making people guess. He's getting people talking. He's raising controversy. And he doesn't have to say anything, he just has to show up. I think his legal team made a statement about it, saying that Manson's religious beliefs are none of your business, but that's about as close to a statement as Manson has made on it. So yeah, this has all been very amusing. But of course, there's the other news about Marilyn Manson, which has been around for a year. And yeah, I am gonna talk about that eventually, but it'll be a few years because that's gonna be my final episode of Fundamentally Loathsome. That's why it's called Fundamentally Loathsome, actually, because that final episode is going to be about analyzing Marilyn Manson as potentially someone who genuinely is fundamentally loathsome. But whatever the truth about Marilyn Manson is, it doesn't take away from the fact that he is an absolute genius artist. No one can write lyrics like he can. Nobody can create these massive pieces of multimedia art that are interpretive, layered with all kinds of symbolism through clues hidden in album art, CD booklets, music videos, websites. Nothing can change that. I want to try to get the next episode out in December, but I'm having to do a lot of research for this one because it's about Antichrist Superstar. Well, I'm actually splitting it up into 2 episodes. The third episode will be about Antichrist Superstar, actually, but the second one will be more about the literary influences. And so I've had to read a bunch of the Bible. I wrote a whole section about the Bible, finished that. Now I'm working on a section about Friedrich Nietzsche and the occult. So I'm having to read The Twilight of Idols. I'll probably have to dip into a little bit extra Nietzsche just to, iron out some of the details that I need. And I'll also have to read The Tetragrammaton by Donald Tyson and, his Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey. A bunch of occult stuff to just kind of round out my knowledge in that area too. So that's why it's taking a while to do. I have to do a lot of research for that episode. But then after that, I shouldn't have to do as much research on this series. It should be pretty basic, straightforward from there. I'll have to do some reading, of course, but it won't be as heavy and involved. The thing with the Bible and Nietzsche and the occult is that all three of those things are very kind of, layered in symbolism, and they take a lot of time to properly understand. So yeah, I mean, I kind of have a lot of workload on me right now. But that's fine, that's what I signed up for, and that's what I like doing. It would be nice to get these episodes out sooner, though.